And I just want to touch on that actually, just very briefly. I think it is. Well, what would you say about this? I mean, you've been on a workshop where people looked at their people had their avatars critiqued. Do you think that's a large part of the creating your brand image, to have something as professional looking as you can?
I think so. I think as long as it looks neat and looks tidy and professional, and all ties in with your avatar.
Yes.
And to me, it must all blend together. So I would still make a few changes.
Mm.
I'm thinking of changing the welcome page. And,
right.
I think it's just continually improving and testing it out, and you definitely have to start with something. So if I had waited to be perfect, it wouldn't have gone up.
Yes, well, I mean, I think that's a good point. Very well made, Bev. I think there's probably a tendency in all of us to think, oh no, that's not quite right, and I'll do it when it's right. But you've just got to start,
Definitely.
haven't you?
You've just got to start, because when you do it and you're looking at it over and over, it just never looks right, does it?
Absolutely.
So it's ever improving, which is good as well.
Yeah. Now, as we've sort of touched on the subject of a welcome page and compelling offer, can we talk a bit about how you came about your compelling offer, the Facebook checklist? Was that an obvious thing, or did you have to think a while about what you were going to do?
I definitely did have to think a while about what I was going to do. So I retraced the steps of what I did to get my page up, and I tried to map it all out for someone who was just starting right from the beginning.
Right.
So that they could follow all the steps and tick them off and make sure they were covering all the main points of optimizing their Facebook page. Because I'm sure you've noticed, if you go around Facebook, how many people don't make use of all the space for their avatar.
Yeah.
And,
Yes, I was looking at one just yesterday, actually, just a tiny little square profile pic at the top of the page, but not everyone knows that, so that's fair enough. But
exactly.
So you're offering a valuable service with your report. It's got some really useful information in it, just clean and neatly presented. I think one thing we touched on earlier, well, before we actually started recording, Bev, was some of the techniques that you've used. Has anything changed in what you're doing? I mean, if those of us who are students of Joe Barnes, we're taught what really are some relatively simple things to establish a page and build the brand, aren't we?
Yes, and definitely the social aspect is very important. So every time you are as your page and you're leaving your link everywhere, but you are also, it's really good to go around and look at the other pages. Aren't there some fantastic pages out there?
There are, absolutely.
It's just incredible what people are doing with their Facebook pages.
And are there any, I mean, we can't, well, I don't know if we'll be able to show them, but are there any particular pages that you like to go and visit when you're using Facebook as your page? Are there any particular favorites of yours that may or may not be in your niche?
Well, I love looking at, I don't have them all written down at the moment, but I love looking at all the, like, interior design and, the children's design clothes, and but I also love all the social media ones too. Yeah.
I mean, I've discovered some interesting pages fairly recently, who hopefully will agree to do some interviewing as well, because there are some other pages. I mean, Davina and Caroline at Free Graphic Design Tutorials. That's
love their page. Yes.
So do I. I think it's a fantastic page. I've learned a lot from them via their page and their videos. I've had some help from them with my new avatar. And it's interesting.
I love your avatar.
Thank you very much. I had let's go and take a look at him now, shall we? I redesigned this fairly recently. Beforehand, it was kind of black and the background was black, and it was quite unfriendly and not very inviting. And I found this guy on Photolia, and I have to say, Bev, it was pretty much love at first sight. When I first saw him, I thought, that's the one. I've got to put him on
the one with his thumbs up.
Yep, I saw that.
I love that.
That's great, and the great thing is he fits very neatly into a thumbnail.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make a little video about editing the thumbnail picture, because I don't think everyone knows about that. Because as you probably know,
you can capture that.
Yes, you can. You can set that image up. Set that image up.
Yeah.
One of the other things that's occurred to me, Bev, is before we started recording, we did say, I did say to you, well, is there anything you do differently, going back, knowing what you know now, or do you think you'd pretty much do more or less the same thing?
I think I would pretty much do more or less the same thing, because as I've mentioned as well, you have to get a feel for it. So I don't think you really have the right feel as soon as you put it up.
Yeah.
And so, there's always opportunity, like you have changed your avatar.
Yeah.
And so as you get more and more into it, you can change your avatar and you can change your pictures. You can change things around.
Yeah.
And it keeps improving.
So, I mean, a question that's just occurred to me, actually, it never didn't occur to me before. Have you used Facebook ads at all, or have you just focused on generating traffic free?
I've focused on generating traffic free, and I can't believe what it's done for my website.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with that, but I can't wait to try Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things on my list for early this year. So I'm really looking forward to trying that.
So I think that's an important thing for people to hear. This obviously you can fast forward. You can fast forward your page by paying for some Facebook ads, but obviously like you've gone from 0 to just over 1,000 likes in about 4 months, just using those quite simple techniques that we learn.
Yeah, definitely.
You've gone around and you've posted on pages, presumably similar pages in your niche. Just using Facebook as your page.
Yeah, they're not always in my niche. I started off in my niche.
Okay.
Everywhere in my niche, and then I thought, well, this is actually, everyone would like to know how to put up Facebook pages and what they need to do. So I started going out a bit more and looking at other pages and just anything I could find. And then I would also go, if you scroll down on my page, where it shows your favorite likes.
Oh, featured likes, yes.
Featured likes, sorry.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
I would go and look at those on other people's pages and get ideas, because you can't just sit there and think of pages. You need to go and get ideas from other people's pages. So I would look at which featured likes they would have and go to those pages. And before I knew it, I was on a little journey all over the place. So. Yeah,
and that's a fantastic thing about Facebook. I think there are millions upon millions of fan pages out there, aren't there?
Absolutely.
And I think that's an important thing for people to understand, that Facebook is still very much in its infancy.
That's exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's only about what, 7 years old, something like that.
Yeah. And it's so exciting that it's just growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
And so many people don't really know that there is the business side to it.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
Find that when you go out socially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think people know about this social network and that you can connect with people. I have to say, I was a bit dubious about joining Facebook. I'm relatively new. I've only been on Facebook for about a year or so.
Oh, okay.
And like a lot of people, I was quite nervous about sort of personal information being made publicly available, and so on and so on.
You've got to get over all those hurdles.
Yeah. But now I think it's great. I love it. I've been able to connect with friends and work colleagues that I've lost touch with over the years.
Yeah.
And
so good.
And like you, Bev, I did know about internet marketing before I arrived at Facebook.
Oh, okay.
And like you, I tried article marketing and SEO, and I think certainly if you're in the internet marketing niche, which essentially we are, if we're in the make money online niche, SEO is becoming increasingly difficult.
Yes.
and it's interesting that I don't know if you were listening in on Jo Barnes' Christmas party where she had some guest speakers, including Chris Farrell. And were you listening to that one, Bev?
No, unfortunately I missed that one.
Okay, but yeah, Chris Farrell was asked his opinion on sort of trends for 2012, and he was asked about SEO, and it seems that Chris Farrell's opinion that SEO was sort of on the wane, and that other things would take precedence. And Chris is just one of many big names in internet marketing.
Yes.
who get most of their traffic now from Facebook.
Yeah. It's so good.
Just very quickly to finish off, so I'm aware of the time ticking on. I did want to keep this, try to keep this fairly brief, because I know it's I'm cutting into your Sunday evening over there in Australia.
That's all right.
Do you look at? You've got those icons looking at sort of YouTube and Twitter. Do you use many other social media platforms, or?
I use Twitter, and but I have Facebook linked to Twitter.
Right. Okay.
As well.
Gotcha.
So, and I have got a small presence on Google Plus.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, so I'm focusing on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Because it's quite hard to have a big presence on all,
Yeah.
not a big presence, but it's hard to focus on the others as well as Facebook.
Yeah. So let's just recap on some of the things that we've discussed today, if we may. And I think the main thing is just to make a start. Don't worry about it being perfect. Would you agree with that, Bev?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. I think because you can worry about your how your fan page etc. looks. I think it's fair to say that you don't even. I think even Jo Barnes has said, don't worry if you haven't got a welcome page and a compelling offer. Just make a start, get out there, and get your page known. And the other thing we've touched on is that those relatively simple techniques, using Facebook as a page and engaging with other people on their pages, is quite a simple and easy way of getting your page known. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, commenting and liking, and wherever you can get out there.
Yeah, and I think it's a sort of a testament to the power of Facebook that you've gone from 0 to 1,000 plus in around 4 months, which I think is really good going.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you, Bev, because your page has got to the point where you've really got some momentum going. And you said, if I remember rightly, you noticed that happening at about 500 likes. Was that right?
It was, I'll say 400 to 500 likes. I started noticing that happening. Yeah. So, but before, definitely up to about 250, there was hardly any feedback. I heard somebody describe it as a big black hole, like you're talking into a big black hole. But don't give up, keep going, and I'm so glad I kept going, because they are listening and they are reading. You can tell. Yeah.
Of course, you can tell with the insights and so on. And I think your page is proof. It's the proof is in the pudding, as we say. You've gone out there, you've done those relatively simple things, and you've started to really build quite a strong brand. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
Yeah, and that's the other reason I wanted to talk to you, because I knew you'd been going only a relatively short period of time. Like I say, it's. I think if people were to look at, say, someone like Marie Smith, who's now got something like 54,000 likers on her page, I think that could be quite daunting for a beginner. Which is so. I really appreciate you giving up, and I really appreciate you giving up your time for us to do that, Bev. That's very kind of you.
Thank you, Simon.
You're very welcome. I'll have this all squared up and posted somewhere on the internet, on Facebook, and probably on my blog as well. And I'll send you a copy of the recording too. Hopefully the file size isn't too big. Okay. Okay then, Bev.
Thank you for having me, Simon.
Very welcome. We'll talk again soon.
Talk again soon.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks very much then, Bev. Cheerio.
Okay, bye for now. Bye.
Bye-bye.